everybody, Hella here. How's it going? Good to see you all. I know you are excited for our guest today. I know you're excited. Well, if Dr. John is watching, I know you are a big fan. You're a big fan. Now, don't get mad. Don't get mad and throw your glasses. We can't be having that. It's like, really, she's quite lovable. She's very, very lovable. No one could ever despise her.
Groundswell of people who despised you.
Couldn't be. That just couldn't be. He's got a little bit of a problem lately. I think he might have been like, having a little bit too much beans. Hey guys, don't throw. Yeah, look. Dali's gonna try not to throw his glasses, but Lori's just gonna have to make sure she doesn't interrupt him. We can't be sure. He's gonna try and control himself, guys. Try and control himself. Hey everyone, we have new members in the house. We've got some new members. So we've got Megan Williams. Or is it Megan or is it Megan? Maybe we'll go with Megan. Welcome. And we have Chrissy Fishers. Hello. And we have Luigietta. Hello. Nice to have you in. And Mum Jeans 10 has gifted 5 Excited Utterance memberships. That's so nice of you. Thank you for giving out the gifts before we even start. That's so sweet. That is so sweet. Wow. Okay, guys. First, we'll bring Mr. Dali in. We'll do that.
Hey.
You're excited, aren't you?
I am. I already threw my glasses. They kind of broke a little bit, but
are they okay?
I think so.
Did she interrupt you backstage?
She did, and I got kind of upset, but it's okay.
Do you like my John memes?
I do. They're very good.
Hey, Scott Longley. How's it going, Scott? Nice to have you here. Welcome. Thank you for becoming a member. All right. Without further ado, let's bring her in. Let's bring the lady in. Lori Hellis. Hello. Welcome, Lori.
Keep your glasses on, Dali.
They came back. They hit the wall and flew back. That was handy.
It'd be funny
again.
if you're like Homer and you had extra pairs of glasses underneath.
Oh yeah.
And you're not even in Australia, so they can't even be boomerang glasses.
I know, right?
No.
I don't know how that happened.
He's in Mesa. Did you live in Mesa at some point?
Mesa?
Sorry. Mesa.
Oh, you're in Mesa, Arizona? Oh,
Yeah.
Loved Mesa. I lived in Mesa for about 3 years. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Loved it.
Nice.
Didn't want to leave.
No.
My husband, however, is a Northwest boy, tried and true, and in the Pacific Northwest, you're from there if you have moss growing on the north side of your nose.
Yeah.
So the desert life wasn't for him. So, but I loved it. Yeah.
Yeah.
There is a groundswell of people here that love you.
Thanks so much.
I was going back over that little spaz out by John, and I forgot about that bit. Where he went absolutely berserk and actually looked at the camera, which he rarely does.
Yeah.
And he's like, "There's a groundswell of people who despise you." Oh, we'll play it.
Groundswell of people who despised you.
Wow. How did you feel when he said that?
I chuckled a little bit. I have really thick skin. I spent 20 years in the military, 30 years as a criminal defense attorney. I have skin like an elephant and a vocabulary like a bad sailor. And I'm telling you what, I kind of laughed a little bit about it, and I thought, wow, that says a lot more about John than it does about me. So yeah, he's kind of a snowflake. He's
He
got a
kind of
pretty tender little ego. Yeah. So doesn't and I think it's interesting because he's married to a woman who was raised to be a subservient Mormon wife. And it they sort of play to one another because it's very clear he doesn't like women who challenge him.
At least Dali doesn't wear children's-sized glasses. Well, I mean,
Oh, I love your kitty.
well, he can't find John's glasses look like children's-sized glasses because his head's just massive. That's the thing, and it's the same. It's the same with his hats, right? So he has these hats that look like children's-sized hats, but they're actually adult-sized hats. Like, yeah, like.
Yeah.
Starting to question her life choices when he put the little hat on, but it's not. It's actually not a little hat. Like it's an adult size hat. It's just his head is ginormous. That's all.
Yeah, he is sort of Jabba the Hutt proportions.
Yeah, he is. He is.
Although it appears that he's slimmed down a bit. You know, he's gotten a little bit of a glow up lately.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. That's so he can fit into the Star Trek,
the zip ups,
those zip ups, yeah. It's just he needs a man's ear. That's all. Like
a little dangly zipper there. Yeah,
he's got a big head to hold in all the tears. Yeah, it's a raw male emotion. It's raw male emotion. Like honestly, very seriously though, that outburst at you, it was scary. Like I haven't followed him all these years, but I've never seen anything like that before. Like that was a turn.
Yeah. And to be frank, I hadn't either. I mean, I had known Lauren and John for a while and we had gotten to be friendly. And it was surprising to me too, but it made me, you know, I spent a lot of years dealing with families who have family violence and those sorts of things, and it definitely sent a red flag up for me where I never thought about that before when it came to Lauren and John.
Well, since we're talking about it, since we got you here, let's watch the whole thing, shall we? Without further ado, let's watch the moment because why not? Hang on, let's share this. Go left. Alrighty, the big moment, the moment that really pissed him off.
One of the people saying this because of this was on our show years ago. And I will say this, one of the worst moments I've ever had in 5 years, one of the moments that pissed me off to no end, unlike every other moment on any show I've ever been on, this person was on the show. And somebody, a viewer asked a question of me that was extremely emotional. And I was pondering the question. You could see I was getting emotional. I was going to give one of the best responses I've ever given. And you know what happened? Because this person couldn't handle the fact that I was getting emotional, they cut me off. Yeah. They absolutely cut me off, refused to let me answer because they couldn't handle that emotion in a male, especially in a male, that raw emotion that I was about to express. And I was so angry. If this person wonders why she's not on our channel, you might want to look at yourself. You might want to look at the fact that you cut me off in one of the most critical moments on one of our shows that I've ever had. You might want to look at the fact that people didn't like you. You might want to look at the fact that you spoke over Lauren and myself. You might want to look at the fact that you thought you owned this channel when you didn't. You might want to look at the fact that there was a groundswell of people who despised you.
Boy, we'll just see.
Wow.
I just your reaction during that, Dali, was You just couldn't stop laughing.
The thing that I find a little sad in watching this back is actually Lauren's demeanor.
Yeah.
She is not going to cross him at this point. She's
No.
just sitting there saying, yeah, very quietly, yeah, and validating him. And more on some of their more recent lives, I see that. And I think it's troubling. I think that people close to them should be concerned. Yeah.
Well,
I
and
am
So
shaking.
I mean, you know,
Yeah, right.
I once had a T-shirt that said, "You say bitch like it's a bad thing." I mean, you know, I once had a judge who said that my contumacious behavior in the courtroom was out of line, and I went and had a necklace made with the word contumacious on it, and I wore it to court every day. So, you know, his opinion of me matters fuck all. You know, I never swear on my own channel because
I love it. Now go for your life.
I try and respect my viewers, but you know, I mean, his opinion doesn't mean a damn thing to me. But I think people around him should be concerned that this guy's he doesn't have many pressure release valves, and that should be concerning.
What really stood out to me is when he was on the phone, or Lauren was on the phone with him with the officer,
right?
And she shushed the officer so he could talk.
Yeah.
Like it was a big deal. Like he needs to talk.
Right.
Like
two people talking. Go ahead, John.
Yeah.
Like that's a known issue.
Sure. You know, I mean, if you look at it from that regard, it's I can shush this police officer because he doesn't mean anything to me. But if I interrupt John, I'm going to have to deal with the fallout later. You know, I mean, from my personal standpoint, I don't care, but you know, people around him might care.
So NJ Kathy for $9.99 says, and thank you for the $9.99. I find it interesting that he has one profound thought and he was interrupted.
Yeah,
John
it's a
is
shame.
completely unhinged.
It's a shame he didn't. Now, see, we're doing the same thing. You get three people in a live, and we can't always see one another, and there's a little bit of a lag, and so people do talk over each other.
Oh yeah.
But I unfortunately, he should have written it down because it was, you know, he doesn't necessarily believe things are true unless they're written in books. So he should have written this one down. Yeah,
he doesn't write. He doesn't write books, though, does he?
Not that I know of, although Lauren always said he was writing a book.
Oh, he's writing a book.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what he's doing at home alone.
Now, it'll be interesting to see now that they're building this big multi-million-dollar compound if John will have his own little cave again.
Oh yeah.
When I visited them at their home, they have their I presume it's their current house has a little like guest house, and that's where John was with his towers and piles of books and you know, and Lauren, who was actually doing something that was creating income for the family, was relegated to this tiny little guest room and her laptop in a corner, and that's where she did the lives from, while John had this big fancy like guest house that was his office. And
really,
yeah,
interesting.
And his gross feet. Yeah.
And his feet. Yeah, have you seen the feet pic?
I don't want to. So I mean, you know, I think the clues were there as to the balance of power in that relationship.
Yeah.
And, I think it's interesting that Christina came out with some recorded information that early on in their relationship. And I don't think that's a surprise. Initially, when COVID hit and they shut down all the prisons, he couldn't get in and out of the prisons.
Yeah.
But as she said on that recording with Christina, um, he he didn't want to go back to work. He was depressed.
Yep.
Yeah. So he hasn't worked. I mean, there's that one case where he did evaluation was from 2021. Now, I don't know if that evaluation was done before that and it only just went to court in 2021. I mean, who knows? But it was right in that time frame that he did the evaluation that people found and it came out. But yeah.
So what everyone's been asking, do you remember what moment that he's referring to?
I absolutely don't. And the interesting thing about it is that once they yeeted me from their lives, they went back and deleted every one of the lives that I'd been in. And Lauren and I had been appearing every Friday night on a live for a year.
Yeah.
So it was important enough to them to get me out of their lives to completely delete a year's worth of work. So I don't
That's
know.
like when you've had a really bad breakup and you
Apparently,
Yeah.
you their photo out of the family photos. Yeah, I don't know.
Wow, you really hurt their feelings, Lori.
Apparently. So
I don't know. How does it feel to have so much control over someone's emotions?
Powerful, really powerful.
Wow, powerful.
Yeah.
Wow. Damn.
No.
And hi, Jackie. How are you? So excited for the day. $10. Nice to see you, love.
Thank you,
and
Jackie.
Brandy Snaps, £9.99. The King Sterling. God save the King. Hello, lovely people, hosts and guests. So happy you're all here. So nice to see you. It is so nice to see you. And Kelly Kell says, I'm a law student, 3L. Hella. And so happy Jolene led me to Lori. Lori, I have major concerns about what I'm seeing and so excited to hear from you. Well, that's wonderful that you are taking up law. Very nice.
Yes.
And speaking of which, and speaking of Jolene also, Jolene has an idea. And that is that you and I, Ms. Hellis, should start a law firm together because I'm a fake lawyer. Did you know that? I am indeed. And so this is what Jolene has to say about that.
From Princeton? Is he giving you bad advice and speculating on a case where the defendant hasn't even pled yet? Well, call Helen Hellis, all right? And you might be open for compensation. Compensation might be available to you. All right? Call now. Helen Hellis. And everything we can and going, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got to get to the bottom of Cindy. You're right. John, stop being pissed. It's been 5 years. Get over it already. Build a bridge. Like, God, I'm sure Lori made your channel more entertaining. Can you please update your title? Hella, you don't have to, but can you say Princeton attorneys just for both of you? Princeton attorneys, Hella and Dali and Associates. We'll be talking hidden true crime. Their facts are so hidden, you can't find them.
Allegedly.
Okay. So is the chemistry in their marriage.
Allegedly.
All right. That's enough. That's enough, Jolene.
I love her.
I love her too. In fact, when she said, "Oh, I'm going to have you on," I DM'd her and said, "Honey, I'll sit on your bookcase. If you have me on, I'll sit on your bookcase because I haven't been doing a lot of stuff because I really just wanted to put it behind me. I have a new project, and I'm kind of over it, but." it's really fun to come on with you guys. And Jolene's the only other one that I said, man, if you reach out to me, I'll even sit on your bookcase. So
Oh, that is too cute. That
yeah.
is too cute. I love her. She's amazing. All right. So much stuff to ask you. We've had lots of questions in advance. First, before we get into like the background with you and Lauren, I wanted to talk about the stuff that you've witnessed with Christina and the civil stalking injunction just so in the last sort of 6 to 12 months, right? So, or well, actually just the last couple of months. So you're a witness. And in terms of you saw what happened to her at CrimeCon, and I actually used some video of you speaking about that when I was trying to convince everybody and then later show the video of her being taken from the bar on a Saturday night by police, because there was no evidence of that. The police didn't bring it forth, and also Lauren didn't put it into her declarations. And you spoke about it. Thank you. You spoke about it on your show. And the only other evidence of it that existed was Lauren telling on herself a bit on Judy Ron when she said that after the Clue Awards, the police told me to go around the bar and avoid her, right? But she didn't say that they picked her up there. Right? But then Christina, being the smarty that she is, she had some footage from her meta glasses, which she provided, and we were able to show it on this channel. But you said it on your stream. You said that, well, you can tell us what you said and what you saw.
So that Saturday evening, those of us who didn't have VIP passes to the Clue Awards, it used to be the Clue Awards, you bought a separate ticket for them. But this year you had to be a gold or platinum member in order to go to the Clue Awards. Yeah. So those of us who didn't have tickets were hanging out in the bar. And when the Clue Awards lets out, I've been to several CrimeCons now. All the people from the awards come into the bar and continue to party. So I was sitting, this is a very large bar area, big sunken, like the basement of this hotel. And I was sitting at a collection of furniture. So it was a couch and a love seat and a couple of chairs and a coffee table in the middle, kind of a conversation area. And I was sitting there. Christina was there. Now, I'd never met Christina. I didn't even know anything about Christina until about 2 weeks before CrimeCon. And she reached out to me and said, hey, I've really been struggling with a friendship with Lauren, and I understand that she did some of the same things to you. So we kind of compared notes and had a conversation on the phone. But that was the first time I knew anything about her. I didn't know Lindsay. I didn't know Grayson. I didn't know Lori. I think I had met Janice once before because she'd kind of been around for a while. But I didn't really know any of these folks. So that Saturday, I had dinner on my own. I came to the bar and Christina was there along with all these other people. And we were just sitting there BSing and having drinks when the Clue Awards let out. All these people flooded into the bar. And somebody who was sitting with us commented, "Oh, there goes Grayson." I knew by that time that Lauren had filed a restraining order against Christina. Christina had sent me a copy. Yeah, the lovely gray bay. She'd sent me a copy of it because she asked me some questions about it.
Sorry, so Christina had sent you a copy of what?
Of when? The restraining order. So
on what day? So it would have been the Friday.
I think it was on Friday. Yeah. So I knew I'd already.
Hang on. Well, yeah, because she would have received it on the Friday, so she would have sent it to you on the Friday.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're all sitting at this on this couch and in this conversation area. And somebody said, "Oh, there goes Grayson. She's looking for us." And so Grayson kind of went back and forth. I didn't even know who Grayson was. They pointed her out to me, and then she kind of cruised around a couple of different times. Exactly. Gigi was kind of going in and out. I've known Gigi for a long time. And and she said, "Hey, I need to go talk to some people that my members only or something."
Yeah.
And so, people were just sort of coming and going. And Anjanette Levy came in and she sat down right next to me on the couch. And probably about maybe 2 or 3 minutes later, 2 uniformed Aurora police officers come into the bar, and they walked right up to this group, and they said, "Which one of you is Christina?" And Christina said, "I am." And he said, "We need to talk with you. Will you come with us?" And they took her off. They were standing against a wall. I think there was a fireplace there, kind of a rock wall. We could still see them, but they were were took her away from the group and away from anybody else. And they talked to her for quite a while. At different times, people kind of went over there to make sure she was okay. And a little while later, Anjanette looked at me and said, "What the hell was that about?" And I said, "Well, Lauren Matthias took out a stalking order against Christina. That's all I know." And it seems to me, Anjanette said something like, "That's effed up," or I don't know. And then a few minutes later, Christina came back and she gathered up her purse and her whatever she had there, and she said, "I have to leave," and she left.
Wow.
It is true in a lot of states that that even if you are there first, you have to leave if the person you have a restraining order against comes into where you are. It's not really fair, but it's true in a lot of places. So, because the court says the responsibility to not have any contact is on the respondent, on the person who's restrained. So, so she had to leave. And that was sort of the end of it at that point. I mean, there was a lot of buzz going around when 2 cops come in and pull somebody out of a bar. There's a lot of buzz going on. What was happening? How was that? So people were talking about it.
I'm not surprised people were talking about it, actually.
Yeah.
It's
And there were a lot of people in the bar. Gigi was there, Annie Elise was there. I mean, there were a lot of creators in the bar, and they were all talking about it.
really.
Yeah.
Did they know? Okay, so tell me about that. Did they know who Christina was? And did some people would have?
Some people did. Some people did. I'm not sure Gigi knew who Christina was. She may have met Christina. See, I actually moved from Mesa, Arizona to Boise, Idaho for 2 years to write the book about the Vallow case. I moved my house, right?
Wow.
And by the time Chad Daybell's trial happened, I went to the first couple of days in person. And I knew that Lauren had given out my manuscript, and I was so mad at her. I realized that I was probably going to make a scene in the courthouse if I continued to be there, because it just made me so mad to see her face every time I came across her in the courthouse. So I didn't go to all of the Daybell trial. So I don't really know what happened because I streamed it from home. And I just, I didn't want to have that confrontation.
That sucks for you, though. You should have been able to go, but Yeah.
No.
And also, can I just interrupt? Janice says that Gigi did know Christina.
Okay, so she
Yeah.
probably did know her from the other trials.
Yeah. Okay, sorry,
Yeah.
do go on.
Thanks, Janice. So I mean, I don't really know who knew what or who knew what was going on, but it was definitely July 30th was the first time we chatted on the phone. And that's right, you were in Europe.
Hey,
Envious. Yeah.
hey, love, how's it going? Christine says July 30 was the first time we chatted on the phone. I was in Europe. Lori is one of the only people I reached out to, and it was after several people suggested I reached out to her. Yeah,
Right.
well, sounds
And
like
I
you
didn't
guys
know anything
were able to
about
help
the
each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I didn't know anything about Christina's TikToks until after she reached out to me. So,
Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, of course, everybody who knew who Lauren was sort of abuzz about the fact that police had come and taken Christine out of the bar. So,
So when you say anyone who knew who Lauren was, do you think or know that people knew it was Lauren who organized for Christina to be taken?
yeah, well, people told them. I mean, the other people who were there, Lindsay and all of those folks, I mean, if they were asked,
Good.
they told them, and I
Good.
told I told Ann Jeanette.
You,
So,
yeah, you did. Yeah.
you know, I think people who, they knew what
Good.
was going on. Yeah.
Good. So yeah, good. And I don't honestly, it's so ridiculous that Lauren gets on her live and goes that, and also Grayson later on Web Sleuth goes that, like no one would have known. No one would have known if we hadn't have done the live, right? No, you had police come
Right.
to an event where everyone was and cart a woman away.
Right.
Everyone who's already had a couple drinks
Right.
and talking, gossiping,
Right.
they know everybody and they have contacts everywhere in the true crime community.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You did it in front of people from Law and Crime.
Yeah.
And
what did you?
And also, just to make out like it's Law and Crime's fault, also, right? Like to put any kind of blame on them whatsoever is ridiculous. Like all the media agencies were there. One of them was going to make a media request, if not them. Like, I'm amazed more people didn't.
Yeah. I don't, I wasn't really privy to that. So I got home, and the more I thought about it, the madder I got about it. Really, the fact that she was trying to weaponize a stalking order. And, I spent a lot of my career in both criminal and family law, and they intersect a lot, dealing with people who had truly had stalkers or truly were afraid for their lives. And it made me mad. So when I got home, I I went live and made a video about it. And then Lauren's attorneys then filed a affidavit. I'm not quite sure how Utah works, but they filed a claim that Christina had put me up to that and that my doing that was a violation of her restraining order. That's how weird and attenuated this whole thing got. So her attorney, Christina's attorney, contacted me and asked me what had happened. I told him, and he said, well, I'm going to send you a subpoena because I need you to testify that Christina didn't put you up to that. That was the only reason I was called as a witness in that hearing. So Lauren gets on the 9-hour live and she keeps talking about, well, I don't know why Lori Hellis was a witness because I haven't talked to her in years. And, well, that was why, because she accused me of being manipulated by Christina. So, yeah. So the interesting thing was that I was present on the phone for that whole hearing because I was supposed to be a witness. So I was just sort of backstage waiting and listening. And it was really interesting when Lauren decided she didn't want to go in the courtroom because they were in there, and she wanted the courtroom cleared because she couldn't face them. And I thought, yeah, you probably can't face them. But this is what our American justice system is about. You make the complaint, you know, you better have the balls to stand up in court and
absolutely
have the strength of your convictions. But
no,
that's not.
Not that one. Hang on, we'll come back to that one. Was Lauren held in high esteem by other true crime hosts before all this awfulness came out after the 9 Hour Live?
You know, I don't really know, because I didn't overlap with Lauren a lot in those spaces by design. I mean, I just declined to overlap in those spaces. I never got the impression, and I was most friendly with the other law tubers. So, but I never got the impression from any of them that any of them found her to be real credible or sort of put a lot of stock in what she was saying. Yeah.
I mean, okay, so I come from a background of watching LawTube more and hanging out with those guys more, and that's just no shade to anybody. That's just where I've been watching and the kind of panels I've been hanging out on. But from what I've seen, Lauren and John seem to stay on their own. Like they seem to not collaborate very much. They've got like their little group of friends. They just seem to be people who are kind of riding on their coattails a bit, like Trisha, for example.
Yeah.
But apart from that, they don't do the whole collaborating thing. Like they don't do the whole everyone get on a panel together and celebrate Christmas and someone's birthday or some like a Thanksgiving or Halloween. Everyone get together and chat.
Lauren to my stream then.
Yeah, right. Like they don't like chill. With other. They don't seem to to be that kind. They're just really stiff and uptight. From what I can tell,
definitely not collaborative. And I think it's interesting because if you look historically, except for me, their guests don't tend to be other experts. Their guests tend to be the cousin of the victim or the niece of the uncle of the victim, and they don't tend to bring in other experts.
No, I haven't. Right? Yeah, that's a really good point. I've never seen them do that, but I mean, I don't follow them that much. But that's
no.
Well, I do.
You would know. You would know.
I don't think you'll find. I don't think you'll find videos with them interviewing other experts or trying to get other people's input. I really think they rely solely on their own expertise.
Well, they did seem to be a bit sort of threatened by you, and she actually said, she mentioned something in the 9 Hour Live about not wanting to go to LawTube, which it's like, yeah, right. I can't imagine Lauren getting along with many of the LawTubers. You sure, but no, it's just not a thing. But anyway, on to back to Christina's thing for a little bit, just before we move on. So did you see? I sent you a PDF. Did you see the civil stalking injunction? What we actually received a month or two later.
Yeah,
what
I did.
Lauren put forth to the court. So this only came forward via public records request a bit later. So
Mhm.
I can bring it up if you like. What do you think about what was put forth regarding the previous stalking incidents and the witnesses that were put down by Lauren? So really, to me, this is falsifying a document. I can't see how it could be seen any other way. What do you think?
So I've been doing a little research.
Oh,
One of the things that my followers like from me is deep dives into the legal aspect of things. And one of the places that I often do that is in my newsletter, because these sort of formats don't really lend themselves to really deep dives and sort of the legal analysis that lawyers do. So I've been sort of diving in a bit into the Utah laws. Now, I will say Utah is, Dali, I'm in love with your cat. I am a
Oh.
crazy cat woman. I have 2 purebred Siamese.
Aw.
And is he a Bengal?
No, an Aussie cat.
Oh, okay.
Very similar,
Yeah.
similar
Yeah.
look, but
Yeah.
He's got
And a
the
little
green-
bit of the wildcat. Oh, I see. We've
Yeah.
got a little.
Speaking of wildcat, oh my god!
Yep. That's great. I love them. So Utah's law is a little bit, well, Utah does things a little unusually, I
Okay.
mean, they kind of go their own way on things.
Sure.
But so I really did do quite a deep dive into whether or not the things that Lauren said would be considered stalking.
Okay.
So I think the important thing, I'm just going to read a little bit from the statute. It says an actor commits stalking if the actor, so that would be Christina, intentionally or knowingly engages in a course of conduct directed at a specific individual and knows or is reckless as to whether the course of conduct would cause this is the important part, reasonable person
Yes.
to fear for the individual's own safety or the safety of a third individual, or to suffer other emotional distress. So the statute goes on to define some of those terms, but really the ultimate thing is that emotional distress means significant mental or psychological suffering, whether or not medical or professional treatment or counseling is required.
Yeah.
But in asking whether or not that is significant,
Yes.
once again, you have to ask, would a reasonable person find that significant?
Reasonable. Yes.
Now, I'm not going to get deep into the weeds on court cases because this isn't a LawTube channel, but there is an important case. And the reason I bring this up is because Christina's attorney, who is a really smart guy, and I had several conversations with him, cited this case. And also, it's interesting that the main case in Utah that talks about free speech versus stalking laws was argued by Christina's lawyer, James Dunkelberger. And they got a very positive outcome in arguing that you couldn't restrain someone's free speech. So that case, the Ragsdale case, is in Utah. But the U.S. Supreme Court case in 2022 issued an opinion, and you have to know a little bit about the facts in order for it to make sense. the defendant, Billy,
Yep.
was harassing a local singer and musician. She'd never
Right.
met this guy. She didn't know who he was, but she was a local performer. And
Mm.
he started stalking her. And some of the things that he was doing was posting threats on social media. And they were very threatening types of comments. You know, I know where you live. I'm going to find you. I'm you know,
Yep.
a number of them expressed anger at her and envisaged harm befalling her.
Yep.
He said things like, fuck off permanently.
Yep.
You're not being good for human relations, die. You know, he was making some
Yep.
really direct threats. So she finally asked for a stalking order, and he claimed that because he was only doing it on social media, that it was protected free speech. So the rule is that the state has to prove that in what they call true threat cases, that the defendant had some subjective understanding of his statements' threatening nature. But the First Amendment requires no more demanding a showing than recklessness. So what the Supreme Court said, the standard has always been that you have to that a true threat is an exception to the First Amendment. That a true threat is not protected speech. And so I'm just looking at my notes here. True threats are serious expressions conveying that a speaker means to commit an act of unlawful violence. That's a true threat. Okay.
Yeah.
So Gigi saying to Lauren, using a figure of speech like, man, I've heard a lot of stuff out there, and there are some people out there who want your head on a platter.
Yes.
It's a figure of speech clearly protected by the First Amendment, not a true threat.
Absolutely.
Even Lauren admits it was a vague threat in her 9-hour live. And so it boils back down to the reasonable person standard.
Yep. Absolutely.
Would a reasonable person similarly situated in that situation find that this was a true threat and so wasn't protected by free speech? And that's really what it boils down to.
And she didn't even say it. It was somebody else.
Right. Right. Yeah. Christina didn't say it. Gigi did. And, you know, I've known Gigi long enough to know if Gigi had any idea that this was going to boil off, she would have never said it.
Yeah.
But I also know that Gigi was in the ICU with her very much beloved grandmother, who she described as her ride or die.
Yeah.
And she got frustrated with Grayson because Grayson kept bugging her.
But okay,
Grayson would never do that.
Yeah.
I mean, that case law is pretty clear, but it also applies to someone who actually made those threats, right? Christina is the person who made the TikToks.
Right.
But she's not the person who said those words, even though those words are irrelevant.
Right.
Right. And I mean, I'm just going to bring this up for a second. If you don't mind.
Yeah, the vague third-party hearsay kind of statements.
Yeah.
I mean,
this is nuts.
They're not actionable under the statute. But interestingly, what is actionable under the statute are sending letters to someone's family.
Yeah.
Or their employer.
Or their employer, huh?
Yeah. The statute
specifically. I wouldn't be surprised. So when and where did the first stalking attempt happen? 9th of April, Maricopa County Courthouse. Well, we know what happened then, and that was just a conversation.
Yeah.
That was the only in-person event that happened between her and Christina, and it was just a conversation. That's it.
Yeah.
Right? That's
in front
the
of
only
security.
investment. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
it was in front of the bailiffs there. Like they were right
Yeah.
inside the
Right.
doorway with where security was to go in.
Yep.
Okay. And then on the 11th, an email from respondent to petitioner. She's calling that a stalking activity. And we've seen the email. There's no threats in there.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is what really gets me. Her other stalking events are see declaration of Laura Matthias and Grace in your read dozens of other incidents. Dozens.
No,
Head on a platter
hundreds. No.
Thousands. Head on a platter is not even her words.
Right.
Rape.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God.
Oh, talking about her brother.
She's talking about a TikTok, right? And
actually, she's talking about comments that came from a TikTok. Once again, other people, not Christina.
Yeah. This
Thank
is in
you
Australia.
very much for clarifying.
Other people saying, you know, how can somebody who's in a vegetative state consent? That's a valid question.
Thank you.
But nobody in that conversation thread ever used the word grape, and nobody in that thread ever said that they thought that Lauren was non-consensually going to do anything. Yep. They asked the question, you know, how can someone who has catastrophic brain damage consent to something like that?
Yep.
So
again, not Christina.
No.
No. And going public, that was again in the conversation with Gigi.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So
that's
not Christina.
Right. None of it.
And then 19th of the 6th, online multiple social media accounts, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. On the 19th of June, there were no TikToks.
Right.
No ticky-talkies.
So what, this is lying. This is all lying.
It is.
Well,
this is lying, right? And then
at best, it is embroidering what small bits of truth, factual truth might be.
It's not outright lying. She's just being very, very, very clever in how she words things to try to get what she wants.
I think it's lying.
It's very dishonest. I don't know if I would say it's outright lying, but it is very manipulative.
Well, okay. Then she goes and lists names of people who witnessed stalking. John DeLynn did not witness any stalking.
No, he just received an email.
He received an email from someone who does not even know Christina.
Right.
And then she's gone and put Officer Jacobs, the guy who was like trying to get the hell away from her that night in Boise.
Yeah.
Right? What? He closed the investigation off.
Right.
He did not witness any stalking.
So
this is ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. And here's my opinion from having tried these cases before myself. You know, she went on her 9-hour live and claimed that she was forced to drop her stalking order. But the truth of the matter is she could see the handwriting on the wall. The judge in the hearing that I was in on was very clear that he was not he was not impressed with what had been presented, and that if her attempt was going to be to stifle Christina's free speech, he wasn't having any of it. And he really telegraphed that toward the end of the trial. Everybody's heard that and seen the transcripts. So I definitely come down more on the side of Lauren could see the handwriting on the wall. She could see that despite the fact that all of these things were going to get aired that the judge wasn't going to find in her favor. And it made more sense for her to go on a 9-hour live that she could monetize, and then she could spin that
Control.
information any way she wanted. Sure.
Or try to control. I mean,
Yeah.
backfired,
Try
but
to control it.
Well,
yeah.
you know, I mean, I think most of us standing back thought, who thought this was a good idea? Had she simply said nothing,
Yes.
I think it would have all died down.
oh yeah.
And, you know, at that point,
Yes.
Christina had what, 15 followers? I mean, maybe 100 at that
TikTok.
point on those TikToks. It was
On that channel, yeah.
it was literally nothing.
She's not a true crime creator. She
No.
has another platform that's
Right.
completely separate. So
Sure.
on this, there's nobody was watching it. I mean,
No.
she just
Mm-mm.
She's
Yeah.
not
not.
that
And
you're a nobody or anything. I'm just saying that, like, to Lauren, there was no threat.
And yes, there was a kerfuffle at CrimeCon, but the percentage of people who knew that happened and the percentage of people who really that it mattered to was really small. So if she had just buttoned her lip, it would have blown over.
Yeah.
Now it's become a horrible tempest, and you know there are channels that are simply not going to let this go.
Yeah.
You know, hi,
So,
Krisha.
hey, Crusher. Crusher's got a question. How are you, mate? So does Lori think Lauren filed false report? If so, why? What could her reason be for framing using a stalker narrative? Thanks. Good question.
You know, I think, first of all, I think that this was not the first of these kind of cases where we'd had a creator file stalking charges or something like that against somebody else to silence them. There were other people that were doing it. I think Lauren was aware of that, and I think she felt like that was an avenue. It doesn't cost anything to file a stalking order. It's a fairly under the radar kind of an action. So I think she thought that I honestly think that she thought she was a big enough bully that if she filed that Christina would back down, that she would take down the TikToks, and that would be the end of it, because Christina wouldn't want the publicity of having to go to a hearing.
Like
So
miscalculation.
I think it was a miscalculation on her part. I think she just wanted to, yeah, right. She really felt like she could bully somebody she saw as a little person into backing down and taking it all down. And
That's actually a really good segue into what we're about to talk about next, because she wanted to bully who she thought was a little person into backing down, right? Because she thinks pretty much everyone's a little person compared to her. And yeah. And now I want to kind of go back a bit and talk about the fact that, Lori, you are one of the people who, sorry to say it, but you kind of were pulled into her world.
Yeah.
Right? Her world. And I think that a lot of people, maybe in chat today, maybe people watching later, no judgment, but I wasn't. Denise, you weren't.
I still think she's lovely.
You still think she's lovely. I never liked her. But she had a way. Like she's
very charming.
Yeah, apparently she's very charming, right?
Yeah, she was very nice to me.
She's able to get people's trust. She seems quite nice. She seems kind of believable, but she's manipulative, right? Now, if there's one thing that you can remember about, like, when you were with her and like talking to her every week, every day, like, what was the first like red flag, I suppose, for you? When did you start thinking, hey, maybe she's like bitching about me behind my back, or when is she not quite what I thought she was?
So there were a couple of instances, but I was very new to this online business. You know, I was, I had no clue. And there was a conflict with another creator um, that you and I talked about before the show, and it's not really a rabbit hole to go down, but
Yeah.
I think that was the point that I thought, oh, something feels funny here. Some doesn't feel right. Um, and something didn't feel right about the way that Lauren was quick to bring Kay Woodcock into it. Um,
Mm.
it was a beef among creators, and Lauren was really quick. It had to do with the Vallow Daybell case, and Lauren was really quick to bring Kay in. And in part, it was to use Kay as sort of leverage, but in part, it was to be sure that Kay was still lined up on her side.
Her side.
I mean, at that point, our side. You know, I mean, there was a lot going on, and I think that was the first time that I thought that doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you have left on your own?
Yeah, I think that there would have been a point that I would have said, you know, if I'm going to continue to do this, I really was concerned that I had gotten to the point where I needed to have more control over the message because it was my reputation as a lawyer, and I needed to be sure that I was operating ethically. So I do think that there would have been a point that we would have stopped collaborating because you know, there were some, I had some concerns. They weren't necessarily concerns that somebody who wasn't a lawyer would have, no, but lawyers are held to a higher ethical standard, and there were times that I thought I really need to protect that. My reputation as an ethical lawyer was in and is very important to me, and so there, I'm certain there would have been a point where I would have said, I think maybe I need to sort of go and do my own thing. I'm not necessarily a person who would have burned my bridges. I probably would have you know, just said it's time for me to move on. But
you tried not to. Like, you tried really not to burn the bridges when she let you go on your merry way. Like, you tried to keep things like collaborative, but she ghosted you.
The weird part about it was she just ghosted me for several weeks. And when I finally emailed her and said, you know, what the heck, you know, she sort of gave me a few evasive answers, and you know, it was just clear at that point that something was up. She wasn't really going to explain to me. Now she says, oh, it really wasn't anything. But it's very clear. I was clear from the beginning, and my book is clear from the beginning, that I believed that Lori and Chad Daybell were motivated by their learning from the LDS Church. And it's very, you know, the LDS Church, the mainstream church, will say, oh, they kind of went off on a tangent and that's not really what they believe. But if you study it, you realize that if mainstream Mormon doctrine is midnight, What
Mm.
Lori and Chad were doing is 1201. It's not that far
Yeah.
off. And, people in our discussions would ask those questions because she did not portray herself as being an LDS true crime person. And although she was very open about the fact that she was a member of the church, I was just as open about the fact that I wasn't a member of the church, but that I had done research and that I had studied and that I had had some exposure to the church through my family, and that I felt that the LDS teachings were a component of what Chad and Lori did. And I think as we got further into that, she just uh, she tries to paint herself as, oh, I'm sort of this middle of the road.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think I'm agnostic, and sometimes if you've watched her Mormon Stories thing, she sort of hedges all her bets around
She
her
does.
Mormon membership.
Yeah.
However, she still has a pretty deep allegiance to the church. And I think that was one of the sticking points for her. Although she wouldn't tell me that, I think that one of the things that bothered her was that I voiced my opinion that Lori and Chad's motivation for what they did was in part influenced by the teachings of the church. So I think that was
Interesting.
some of the text messages that have come out later pretty clearly illustrate that she was resentful that I was making the church look bad.
Speaking of text messages, we've had some new ones drop actually in the last sort of 24 hours. We've got some older ones that I wanted you to comment on, and we've had some new ones as well, and kind of going to try and put them in chronological order, and it's cool because we've got you here to put them in more context than we had before. It just shows like she acts like you're kind of nothing. Like she on the 9 Hour Live, she's like, oh, not many people watch her. Like she's a small channel, nobody really watches her. It's like, well, you seem to be pretty worried about Lori Hellis when she left. Like you seem to be actually kind of worried. So let's have a look at that. Let us have a look at that. We're just going to change setups now. And give me a moment, guys. In fact, would you mind reading out some super chats, please?
Yeah.
Mr. Dali?
All
you.
right. So we got Helen Johnson Fred became a new member. Thank you. Let's see.
Thank you.
Yeah, much appreciated. And then we got Dawn Schaefer giving 5 hella excited utterance memberships. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Turn chat green. Sweet.
Blucky, $4.99 super chat. Thank you very much. Very generous, guys. Mark Randazazaza. Is Christina's lawyer?
Oh.
Can he help the?
No, he's Mr. Breakfast lawyer.
Yeah.
Right. He's awesome. And I
Yeah.
loved his letter, but I don't believe he is Christina's lawyer.
Yeah.
No.
James Dunkelberger is her lawyer.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I do believe he
for
worked with the Karen Reed protesters, though.
He did. But yeah, Mr. Breakfast has him on board.
Yeah.
Indeed.
And then Lucky became a YouTube member. Thank you very much. And thank you, Lori, for speaking the truth from HTC victim. Let's see.
You.
The Kane's Canadian dollar, $6.99. Jem's saying it's been months to get over, stop talking about HTC, but think it's quite normal for Dr. Quack to be angry about being interrupted 5 years ago.
That's actually a really good point.
Yeah.
That's a really good point. Yeah. We stopped talking about this months ago. Get over it, please. Get over it. Meanwhile, it's just like Mr. John. Dear. Okay, thank you for that. Thanks for reading those out. All right, so December 18, 2022. Let's go right back in time now. Right back in time. So I found this post that you did, Miss Lori, and this was addressing the whole thing regarding the fact that you had been keeping one time slot for your stream, right? So because you started your own stream a few weeks after Lauren decided that you must part ways. And little did you know it was because you cut off John in his moment of raging malemotion. But you kept to your time slot. You had decided that you would be at Friday at 6 p.m. Pacific. And they had started doing what?
So I have to back up just a little bit. I started
Sure.
my stream in October of 22. So this is October to December. Before I did that, I reached out to Lauren and I said to her, I'm thinking about starting my own channel. I won't do it if it is going to cause any problems for you. But what I envisioned was my stream being an hour long, and I would talk about the legal issues in many of these cases, mostly at that point, the Valor Daybell case. And then I would end promptly so that people, because their show usually was Friday nights at 7. So I said, well, if I start at 6, people will be able to just roll directly over into you. I thought
Yep.
that was a collaborative, cooperative
Yeah.
kind of an idea. And she was effusively, she has a lot in common with Lori Vallow sometimes. She was very effusively supportive. Oh, that's a great idea. We'll support you. We'll promote you. We'll do all these things. She was just over the top excited about me doing this. Very supportive. They were, oh yeah, we'll promote you. Never once did they, but they said they would. So,
Really?
oh yeah,
Not even once?
not once. Mm-mm.
Wow.
Jeez.
So I started my channel, and my intention was that I would start at 6, I would end at 7, and everybody would be free to go right over to Lauren and John's. Just a natural,
Yeah.
you know. Now we redirect people, right?
Yeah.
So I thought that was reasonable. Now I will say, Lauren, her start and end times were sometimes moving targets. She didn't always start on time. People complained about the fact that she would not start on time. But
Yep.
I'm a former military girl. I start and end things on time. So so this went on for the first few weeks, and then all of a sudden she started scheduling at 6:30. So after I'd already been on for half an hour, or she started scheduling at 6, and her start time kept creeping to overlap mine. So I reached out to her and I said, "Hey, can we talk about this?" Crickets. And so finally, people started getting on my ass about why I was scheduling over the top of Lauren. And that is the reason why I put that thing out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was because I got tired of people saying, "Why are you scheduling over Lauren? Are you so jealous of her, and are you so mean?" And people saying, I was the one who had sour grapes, that I was the one who was mad because I wasn't on her channel anymore, and so uh, I was scheduling over the top of her. So that is why I put out that statement, and it was the only time since she and I parted ways that I ever addressed anyone's concerns or questions about why I ended with Lauren. From then on, from October of 2022 until just recently after CrimeCon, I never addressed it. People would ask me and I would say, ask Lauren, or I would say, I don't want to talk about it, or I would just ignore them.
Yeah.
So I never addressed it.
You finally felt you needed to.
And it wasn't until after CrimeCon, when all of these things were coming out about what a crappy person she was, that I said, well, allow me to tell you my story.
Yeah.
About my
No,
man.
that's fair. Because sometimes when people are like that popular, well, they seem to be that popular, and the general consensus is, well, why would you go after somebody when they've done nothing wrong?
Right.
Then it would look really petty for you to bring up something kind of from the past. But if everyone's sort of coming out with their, oh, well, this happened to me, then
me too. Yeah.
Yes, it's like that. It's like, well, all right, well, since you guys are talking about it, then I feel more comfortable telling you what's happened.
Right.
And that makes more sense.
Ultimately, after it kept happening over and over again, I moved my stream to Wednesday nights, and it's been Wednesday night ever since. But there have been occasions where she does a surprise live right over the top of me. Yeah. So, I mean, it kept happening, but it was less on when I moved to Wednesdays. So.
Right. So I found this post because there are text messages we're about to show about her responding to this post. Right. So your post says, okay, good friends of the good Lori, I need to vent. This is your trigger warning. If you want to avoid drama, please ignore this. Now, note, Lori posts about scheduling conflicts with HTC. The post receives 267 likes and 279 comments. People are overwhelmingly supportive of Lori's predicament as she describes her attempts to stay clear of HTC's ever-moving time slots. So that's in December. That's on December 18, 2022. And I've just put a few people's comments here just to show a bit of a cross-section of what people were saying in your comments section. Dali, would you like to do the reading?
You always stay in your lane of law and constitution. Also, let audience know if speculation is occurring. Your schedule is always consistent. You obviously have been professional. Thank you. This is concerning. I feel like you are used in a way. I'm surprised they are acting like they are. Not very professional, in my opinion. Thank you for sharing. You know, I was afraid that might happen for some reason. I'm so sorry. Just do your thing. Stay sweet and kind, and hopefully she'll come around. I'll continue to watch your show.
Hopefully she'll come around.
Oh, I doubt it.
Nah, I doubt it. I doubt it. These people all seem really supportive of you. So, and I read like a lot of the comments, and people all were just like, damn, sorry you had to put up with that.
After I put that message out, I did feel like people understood what was going on, and it did validate for me that I should keep going and keep doing what I was doing. Yeah.
Okay, so then here's Lauren texting people about this post.
Aw.
Do you want to be Lauren?
Always. Lori Hellis is writing about me. It's hurting both me and John. Aw. And I want you to know what she is saying isn't true, hearts. I don't want drama. And we plan to ignore it. But I just wanted to share that with my closest true crime friends. Besties.
True crime besties. Yeah. Oh, goodness. You mean on Twitter? I haven't seen anything. I wouldn't believe it or take anything negative said about you and John with as worth any value if I did see it.
How about
Okay,
now?
so
I wanted to hop in here. The only place that was posted was on my channel's community page.
Yeah.
That's the only place it was posted. It was not posted on social media anywhere.
Yeah. So it was only on YouTube. Yeah. And I might have missed pasting down here. She did say on YouTube. So apologies for that.
No, it's
so yeah. But it's the same date, December 18th, 2022. So that day. And then she goes, yeah, solid observation. I don't like drama either. I have thicker skin than John. Oh, you can read that.
And it takes a lot for mean comments to finally get to me. There were some hurtful responses to her post, and I was high with some hurt emotions. Aw, when I wrote you. Poor thing. But I know it will all be okay. ... I'm already feeling better. Just have to trust the process and what John and I are doing. Honestly, drama isn't a good look. So I can't imagine this post will help her in the long run. But I'm sure a 9-hour live will. If people love her, believe her, trust her, then I'm glad they have her to listen to.
Oh, yes. And notice how this person has blocked Lauren. Like everyone eventually blocks Lauren.
Well, not me.
Okay, so moving forward now to April 2023, Lauren in a group chat. Lauren talking about being in court and seeing Annie Cushing, Janice. Hey, Janice, shout out to you, mate. How's it going? And same one she accused stuff of, and Kresha. Lauren using the rolling eyes emoji when talking about Kresha giving her a hug, highlighting how Lauren talks about Kresha behind the scenes while publicly claiming she supports Kresha and her family. Now, we've seen this one before. I wanted to get Lori's take on it. So, do you want to read this, Mr. Dali?
During break, a reporter I used to work with got up and saw me and gave me a big hug. Ooh, right in front of Rish. I went out with the reporter for a bit, and now that I'm back in, Scott is up front talking to Lori Hellis.
This was
eye emoji.
This was Scott Reich from he does a show called Crime Talk. He's another law tuber. And at one point, much earlier in the Vallow Daybell trial, I filed documents to try and get unsealed some things that should not have been sealed. They're still sealed, and I still haven't given up on getting them. But they had to do with some misconduct with the prosecutor. And I still believe that the judge sealed them to protect the prosecutor, because this is Rexburg, Idaho, where everybody belongs to the church. And Rob Wood, who was the lead prosecutor, was also the bishop of one of the wards in Rexburg. And I still believe that the judge, that Brother Boyce protected Brother Woods in that case. But I filed these documents to get stuff in the case. Scott Reich saw my filings and told me I was amazing and, booyah. And he had me on his show one night. And so we got to be friendly because we were both law tubers. And so when he showed up at the Lori Vallow trial, I was one of the first people that he sort of went, "Oh, I know you." And, we stood there and talked. But apparently that was threatening to Lauren, because he had, at that point, a much bigger audience than she did. So the idea that I was talking to him and she couldn't get over there and schmooze was troubling to her, I think. I think that was the problem, was that that I was talking to him. Yeah.
Jealousy is a recurring theme.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it was jealousy or it was just that she couldn't get in and schmooze with him because I was there, and she didn't want to.
Yeah.
She didn't want to have anything to do with me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lauren, very interesting. Keep going.
BT Dubs, vote. Should I or should I not go ask Lori what is up? Oddly, I feel kind of scared to do so. I have no qualms going up and talking to Annie or Janice. Ooh, Safa Janice. Or Kresha, who gave me a big hug yesterday. Are those eye rolls?
Yeah, they're eye rolls. There's 3 of them.
Jesus H. Christ, woman. Sorry. But for some reason, Hellis ... is ... tougher to go up to.
Well, would you have hugged her back?
I didn't have anything to say to her, and I'd already decided that my response to her was going to be, I don't have anything to say to you. I'm not going to have a conversation with you. But I don't know if it was my body language, or I definitely have resting bitch face. So I do
So
not
does Hella.
know. I do not
But-
know, but I am absolutely certain that she knew better than to get near me. Yeah.
And Crusher says, and this is when I noticed Lauren distancing herself from Lori Hellis. I was like, well, I'll be damned. There you go. So, but that's April 2023, though.
Yeah,
Crusher.
that's
Like,
during
this was-
Lori Vallow's trial. Yeah.
right. Because I was gonna say, like, she would have been distancing herself a lot earlier than that.
hmm
Yeah, but
That was
like,
probably like the first public appearance you had where she was there.
Yeah, I think
True.
that's true.
One of the first.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's true. That was probably the first place where other people who knew both of us would have been.
Sure, that probably makes sense. Actually, before we go there, I want to ask you something. Was it Lori's trial that you were kicked out of?
Mhm.
Oh, please, Lori Hellis.
Yeah.
Give us the scoop on that one.
Right
People
about
have
the
been
same.
speculating.
Yeah, right about this same time.
Yes.
I don't know, it was 3 or 4 days into Lori's trial. And the judge had said, now I have to preface this by saying 2 years or better before, I was in Fremont County, which is
Mhm.
where the case originated, in their little bitty courthouse,
Mhm.
for a preliminary hearing of some kind.
Mhm.
And I had set a medication alarm on my phone. I did not realize that when you put your phone on silent, that doesn't turn off your alarms. And so my alarm went off in the courtroom. And the judge had already made very clear that he wanted phones turned off. So the bailiff came over and took my phone, and I readily gave it to him. And the hearing went until lunchtime. And the judge, made me sit in the courtroom and wait for him to decide what to do about my phone while he had lunch. And, I mean,
Yep.
He was a judge.
trust me, I've been a lawyer for 30 years. I know
Yeah.
this game.
Yeah.
And, but it was totally my responsibility, and it was totally my fault. And I was very apologetic to the judge, and I apologized and said, I learned something new about my cell phone, and please accept my apologies. They returned my phone, and I went on my way. And I never set alarms on my phone again.
Yep.
So 2 years later, we're in the courthouse during Lori Vallow's trial. And the judge had been very clear about phones need to be silenced. You can use them, but people were live tweeting constantly. Remember, the judge had said there wouldn't be any live streaming of her trial, and the recordings of her trial would only be released in the evenings after the trial day was over.
Yes, I
So there was
remember.
the only way for people to get information was from people who were in the courtroom. So we were all pretty frantically tweeting what was going on. And suddenly the bailiff walked up to me and said, I need your phone and come with me. And I said, okay. And I walked outside the courtroom, and I handed him my phone. And he said, I need you to unlock it. And I unlocked it, and he sat there and went through a bunch of stuff. And he said, someone said you were taking pictures of Lori Vallow in the courtroom. And I said, absolutely not. I'm a lawyer. I mean, why would
Yeah.
I do that? That's if anybody knows how to behave themselves in a courtroom, it's me. And I said I didn't do that. What was interesting was that the person who seems to have brought that to everyone's attention was Brandon Hobbs, who was the
Yes.
investigator for Lori that it is rumored that Lauren was quite friendly with. Well,
Very friendly.
we know
Have we said that
they were
before?
friendly enough that
We've said it before.
Okay.
Yes.
so I don't
Wow.
think that it's coincidental that somebody on Lori Vallow's side of the courtroom accused me of taking pictures. And even though I handed my phone to the bailiff, I mean, I wasn't happy about it. I was pissed off about it because I had a sneaking suspicion that somebody in the courtroom had done that.
So hang on, can I interrupt for a moment? Didn't
Mhm.
you tell me the other day that you couldn't read your phone properly, and so you?
Yeah. So I'm old, and
Yeah.
I've had cataract surgery, and
Yeah.
so there's a certain distance where I can't read my phone. And
Sure.
so I probably was holding it up higher than the judge would have liked, but I
Okay.
certainly wasn't taking any pictures.
Sure. Okay.
And they confirmed that. So
Okay.
we all went to lunch. We came back into the courtroom, and the judge then said, before I start, I need to deal with a problem. And I'm sure that they did. I need to deal with a problem. We're not going to put up with any sort of behavior in the courtroom. And so, bailiff, would you escort her out? So he did it in front of everyone in the gallery before court started. And so they escorted me out. Initially, I said there was a large room, overflow room, that was the county commissioner's meeting room where they were closed circuit. They had closed circuit TV in there of the trial. So I said, can I go watch in there? And initially they said, yes, you can. So I was in there. Then the court administrator came in later and said, I need to ask you to leave the courthouse. And I said, wait a minute,
Wow.
hold on. This just doesn't seem right. And she said, well, if you want to get back in the courtroom, you have to come and talk to the judge before court. So I went early so that I could talk to the judge, and they wouldn't let me through court security, so I couldn't get there in time. So I finally ended up going in front of the judge that afternoon. And it was hilarious because I had filed documents trying to get sealed documents and had appeared in front of this judge. I had stood up in front of this judge and made my case for getting those documents. He knew exactly who I was. And so when I went in front of him, I said to him, I can't help but feel that this is somewhat personal. And he looked at me and he said, I don't know why you think this is personal because I don't know who you are. And I just shook my head and I said, you know exactly who I am.
Oh.
And I said, at this point, I want to know whether you are throwing me out of the courthouse for something I didn't do, or whether you're going to allow me to watch from the overflow room. And he said, well, you can watch from the overflow room, but you can't come back in my courtroom. And I said, okay.
No.
So when the Chad Daybell case happened, I contacted the court administrator and confirmed for her that I would be allowed back in the courtroom before I went to the trial. Yeah.
She what? Sorry, she called the who?
I reached out to the court administrator to make sure that I would be allowed back in the courtroom for Chad's trial,
Right.
and got that clearance before I attended. Oh, I know that Lauren made a lot of it. None of
Wow.
it was true. And I still have beef with that judge, and he has beef with me because I believe that he protected some very unethical behavior on the part of the prosecutor. And
Wow.
Mr. Breakfast is a guy who's very, very well aware of this.
Yeah.
He protected some very unethical behavior, and he did it because they're all cronies. And when I tried to get those
Believe it.
documents, he ordered them sealed.
I
Yeah.
believe it. I believe
So
it. I mean,
that
here's the
is,
thing.
that's my story,
It-
and I'm sticking to it.
It happens, right? It happens.
Mhm.
And it can be, unfortunately, it does happen. And even though in the end, like we want Chad to go to prison, we want Lori to go to prison, we want all of these
Absolutely.
things. But what we don't want is judges and prosecutors colluding with one another. We don't
Right.
want that. Like, there's no
Right.
need for that. There's just no need. Like,
I-
there's a process, and there's a reason why there's a process. So,
And I mean, that's what I believe. If
yes,
those documents were released tomorrow and they prove that that's not true, I would be the first person to
sure,
say, I'm sorry I said that.
sure,
But that's what I believe right now. And
sure.
I mean, there's, yeah.
It is. So, I mean, if you were trying to uncover that and it was frowned upon by the court, and that is part of the reason why you were kept away from the courthouse, then that's disgusting.
Yeah, he had beef with me. And he's not particularly a guy who likes women who tell him what to do.
Yeah. And Mr. Breakfast is not shady at all.
He is,
Like,
it's the patriarchy, you know?
he,
No.
he,
No. But Mr. Breakfast
He-
knows all about this.
yeah. See, I mean, there's one person we can trust to make sure that everything is transparent. That is Mr. Breakfast. And
Yeah.
it sounds to me like you, Lori, were looking for transparency.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I'm a big advocate for that. As you know, I am a huge fan of Andrea Burkhart. She
Love Andrea.
she covers cases purely because she's interested in transparency. When she sees cases that are being covered up, she goes in there and she does what you say that you did there, and file
Right.
to intervene to get documents unsealed if she believes that they need to be, or to get coverage for media.
That was the frustrating part for me. Was I'm a defense lawyer. I was a defense lawyer for most of my career. Also was a prosecutor for a little while. Not my cup of tea. But I believe that the way we get justice is to do it the right way. And
Correct.
I didn't want to see Lori and Chad get convicted and then this stuff to come out and them to have reason to appeal. So
Absolutely.
I mean, I was convinced that there was something there. And when I tried to get a hold of it, they buried it. So I haven't given up on getting it.
That's it's Barnhart. Get it right.
That's right.
All right, let's move on. So, April 2023, Lauren in a group chat, Lauren talking about becoming so defensive and mad when people bring up John's work. She also said she was mad about someone comparing HTC to Gigi's podcast, Pretty Lies and Alibis. She always thought Gigi was a wannabe podcaster and never serious like HTC. I'm bringing this up because I know that you're friends with Gigi.
Mm-hmm.
So is it weird that I can take the heat, but when John's work is brought up, I become so defensive and mad? Nah, I'm also pretty mad about the Pretty Lies and Alibis comparison. And there's someone up here who said, I've noticed and wondered too. It's evident something went wrong with them. I watch Lori the most now. Lauren's mods are horrible, except somebody. And I prefer Lori Hellis, as viewers are much nicer as well as mods. John could be good at times in analysis, but way off base at other times. Isn't this group run by Hidden True Crime and their mods, or am I mistaken?
Yeah. You know, I have a small but really loyal following on my channel. I have
Yeah.
the best mod in the world. And I think a lot of people come in and say the best part about it is that your chat is so nice and so cooperative. And I've noticed that about your chat as well. You know, I mean, when you create that environment, then people notice it. And Lauren foments a little bit of friction, I think.
Well, a lot of those people have seen. Well, another thing. Okay, she had a big chat, but not everyone in that chat was like that. And they've seen who she is and gone, I don't want to be like that, and left.
True.
So a lot of those people are over here now, are on Jay's and Jolene's and stuff, and go between all of us. And it's Pressure has her own following and always has, and a lot of people have gone over there as well from Hidden True Crime, and just it's really nice to see people kind of go, wow, it's just I'm learning so much more now. I'm learning so much more that I didn't know, and like she is doing some really great work, and I need to dive more into what she's putting out there, because there's all these rabbit holes that I haven't had time to really go into. So yeah, and the people are nice. The people are not like that. They're not into just like trashing others the way that Lauren does. So this one was really funny. So Lauren made a joke about Lori Hellis and making a public post that would say, why do we go live at the same time as Pizza Quilting Bitch Show? She was criticizing Lori Hellis for saying that HTC was purposefully going live at the same time as Hellis. Now, it's interesting, the timing. This was months later. Like, your post was in December. This is like, she's still pissed about this.
Oh, yeah.
Like 5 months later. Dali, do you want to read this?
Well, that sucks. Interesting that John and I switch days, and then so does Lori. Wait a minute, it must be personal. I am going to write a public post about her attempting to sabotage me. And then someone says, that's just embarrassing for her when she does it. Lauren says, I'll title my public post WTF. Why do we go live at the same time as the Pizza Quilting Bitch Show?
Okay, so I didn't understand what this was, but I was looking through your posts trying to find the one from December 2022, and I found this. Hey, you do have a pizza quilting show. Not a bitch show, but a pizza
So, oh, it probably is a bitch show too, you know. Hey, listen, in my profession, if I didn't get called a bitch at least once a day, I felt like I wasn't doing my job. So that to me is sort of a term of endearment.
It
But
is.
I'm a longtime quilter. The demographic in true crime is a lot of women who are my age or a little bit younger, since I'm getting damn old these days.
No.
And a lot of them do granny crafts. And so I said, while we're hanging out watching the Lori Vallow trial, and let's make a quilt. So we did. And then when the trial first started, I had just moved to Boise. And so a lot of people had said, oh, you're moving to Boise. We need to get together. We need to. So we just had a pizza night at a pizza parlor, and I bought some pizza and we all hung out and drank beer. Gigi was there, and you know, it was just kind of a little get to know you mixer thing.
Cute.
So that's where she got the pizza, was on the pizza quilting bitch show.
I'm just imagining her like typing that. She's like, outside of my public post. What the fuck? Why do we go live at the same time as a pizza quilting bitch show? So salty.
Yep, very salty.
It's so salty. At the pizza quilting bitch show.
Yeah.
Nice quilt, by the way.
Yeah.
I was
was
so
the
impressed
example.
when I found that. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's what she made. Okay. So Lauren refers to the time slot issue on the 9 hour spaz at Twitch. Hello. Wake up.
And
Oh, Megan. Heart.
so she started her own YouTube channel. I was very happy and proud for her.
Oh yeah.
And I promoted it, and I believe
Never.
that I helped her get her, many followers, thousands of subscribers by promoting it. Everyone was excited. They got to know her on my channel. And a few minutes later, she did complain publicly on her YouTube platform that she suspected that we had purposely changed our time to hurt her. YouTube. It made me very sad
Oh.
to see that public comment from her that she'd posted publicly on her YouTube comment, because I had considered her a friend and I had tried to help her, and
Poor
it
thing.
made me feel really sad when I learned that she had felt we were trying to hurt her business. I haven't talked to her well before then. There have been some exchanges, but it's always
Oh,
Okay.
nope.
Very
Because
sad.
she was too afraid to come up and talk to me.
Probably she didn't send Grayson up there for her.
Oh well. I mean, it made her very sad. Made her very sad. And she didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
Nothing at all, really. I
haven't done anything, and I will stand by that forever. I haven't.
I haven't. Okay. So here's Lauren Matthias in a group chat with her mods. Lauren claiming that you, Lori, use an LDS audience. And she's also apologizing to Mr. Breakfast. So sorry they're stepping on someone as kind as you, referring to what Mandy Matney did to him. I think you were around at that time. You probably know. Also.
I don't know. That
Hmm.
was sort of after my time.
Okay.
The interesting thing was that Publishers Weekly announced my book deal at the same time, on the same day as Mandy Matney. So if you look back in their archives, our announcements are one above the other.
Right.
And I've talked to Mandy online a couple of times, but I don't know her.
Oh, okay. Mandy Matney's Flying Monkeys absolutely tore Mr. Breakfast to shreds. So it was pretty bad. It was pretty.
It was bad all the way around, because I also know that Mandy's prior employer was employing people sort of like Lauren does, Flying Monkeys, to come after Mandy because she was successful, and the prior employer felt like she had done that sort of, that her employment with him was sort of like the springboard for her.
Mm.
So, I understand there was a lot going on, and I'm sure that Mandy had been taking a lot of heat on a lot of platforms and in a lot of places. And I'm sure that she was fighting back, and her,
Oh yeah.
I can't condone either side, but I know that there was a lot of online dragging and dissing going on everywhere.
There was, but all
Yeah.
Mr. Breakfast ever did was get public documents.
Right.
So,
I don't.
yeah, so we followed the Murdoch stuff way more closely than the Daybell stuff over
Right.
here. So, if we seem to be a bit clueless about the Daybell stuff, that's where our heads were.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Anyway, so do you want to read Lauren?
Hellis used an LDS audience to gain a following and have them promote her book, to then write a book about their murderous faith. She and Mandy are one and the same. Oof. They don't care who they use or step on. I'm so sorry they are stepping on someone as kind as you. Oh, hard. And someone with integrity, actually trying to make a difference with truth and facts. Now here's your cease and desist.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Now, this is the guy that she eventually just decided was a hacker.
Right.
Right. So yeah, apparently you used an LDS audience to gain a following and have them promote your book. Yeah, to write a book about their murderous faith. So there you go.
Yeah. I mean, yes, I have never made any secret of the fact that I believe that Lori and Chad's actions were rooted in their LDS beliefs. That I think you'd have a hard time disproving that. Lauren never communicated that her audience was an LDS audience. I mean, certainly she was a member of the church.
Mhm.
John is not and never has been. And we were clear from the beginning that I'm not a member of the church, never have been. Um, I felt like I tried to be respectful,
Yeah.
but on the other hand, I wasn't going to gloss over the fact that that certainly was an element in that crime. Just like it was an element in Ruby Frankie and Jody Hildebrand.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So, not sure if this is new or not. I'm getting a bit sort of blurred on what's new and what's not because I've been putting them in chronological order. Right. So, Lauren Matthias in a different group chat, Lauren talking about Lori Hellis' book and saying she can't wait to see how she has copied every actual expert on this case. I can't wait
because I wasn't an actual expert.
Oh, right. And of course, like John is, so maybe she copied him. Maybe you copied him, yeah, right? Dali, you want to read this?
I can't wait to read it and see how she has copied every actual expert on this case. Haha. Sorry, I answered my own question and it wasn't a good one anyway.
Yeah, probably wasn't. Okay, yeah, mate. Because she had to get a fact checker, right? Like she had to get a fact checker to check the book. Okay, so Lauren again. So May 2024, in a Facebook group chat with her mods, Lauren talking about some story she got about Hellis's book. Here she claims again that the publisher sent it out to lots of media contacts, and Lauren was trying to tell this group chat that Hellis did not actually talk to / interview Heather or Matt Daybell for her book. Hey, this is interesting. Dali, you want to read it first, and then Lori, if you would like to.
I have a wild story that has been developing about Lori Hellis and her book. The publisher sent out a PDF to news organizations for marketing. Heather and Matt Daybell learned that Lori Hellis put them in the book as doing an interview with them. They've never done an interview, and allegedly Hellis told their publisher they did do an interview.
Okay. So first of all, the publisher sent out the PDF to a handful of media outlets. Lauren was not one of them, and it was never intended that Lauren get a copy of the book. She was standing in line to get into Chad Daybell's trial. And Nate Eaton asked Justin Lum if he had gotten a copy. And Justin said he had. And Lauren piped
Mhm.
up and said, "Oh, I haven't gotten my copy yet. Can you send it to me?" And Nate was duped into sending
Yeah.
it to her.
Yeah.
After all of this came out, Nate Eaton called me and we had a conversation. He was very apologetic about not realizing what he had done. I
He
don't
must have felt
fault
terrible.
he did, and I don't
Yeah.
fault Nate at all for that.
Yeah.
The only way Heather and Matt Daybell could have gotten a copy of the book was from Lauren.
Yeah.
So, or Nate. I tend
Yep.
to think it probably was Lauren. As far as interviewing, I did interview Heather Daybell.
You did.
That's I
Right. Well,
did.
there you go.
I
Debunked.
mean, I can prove it, but
Yeah. Oh,
I mean, I don't want to put any of these families in that position.
No.
I never claimed to have interviewed Matt Daybell. I did not. I've never met the man, but I did
No.
interview Heather.
Mm.
And you know, I understand that there was a lot of other undercurrent going on, and I think that in some instances maybe there were disagreements about who should talk to the media and who shouldn't, or when they should and when they shouldn't. So
Yeah.
you know, I'm certainly not going to throw either one of them under the bus, but
No.
I certainly did interview Heather.
She's just making shit up.
Yeah, well,
You've seen this, obviously. You posted this
Yeah.
on your channel.
Yeah.
So just to recap, this is Lauren going into a Facebook group and saying, "Hey, I have," or thanks to Nate Eden, "I have Hellis's book. Anyone want a copy?" That was nice of him to give you something. It really was. He was excited to tell me this morning he has a copy sent to him by Lori's publisher. That's just great of her, isn't it? So yeah,
First of all, I don't believe that Nate volunteered that information and was excited to tell her. She overheard a conversation and jumped in, and that
Yeah.
is much more true to Lauren than than Nate rushing over to tell her. Yeah.
Yeah. So what we've got today, guys, is some more of that conversation. So, and it looks a bit different. The person who was showing this was showing it on a desktop, and it looks like they had like a background going on. The rest of it I have looks like it's come through a cell phone. And you can see it's the same thing, though, because it's got Lauren at the top saying, "It really was. He was excited to tell me this morning he has a copy sent to him by Lori's publisher." And then it continues, "without asking." And then someone else says, "Did he read it?" And you want to continue, Dali?
he was also excited to tell me the only people she acknowledged were Gigi, STS, and Bob, someone else. He said he read the beginning and it was only Mormon history and boring. I'll start reading it later tonight. And
That's
someone says,
kind of
well,
weird.
go ahead.
Someone else says, "That's kind of weird to mention and a weird setup." And there's more.
He was just curious her sources, so he said he looked in the back of the book. Someone says, but STS is a source? And Lauren, being knowledgeable, says, I don't know. Someone else says, I guess I don't keep up with them enough to understand how that's possible.
Right. And so the note I have here is, notice how Lauren shares an image where you can see it says the page number out of 290 pages total. This shows that despite what Lauren said, it wasn't a preview copy of the book. It was the entire book. She also claimed it was just a press release when it was 290 page PDF of the entire book. And you can see here, I've zoomed it up. Yes. Mr. Breakfast has provided this information. He's correct. This is page 193 of 290. Right? So she does. She has the entire book, of course. It's not just a press release. right? So if you watch my video
Mhm.
that I released just about 12 hours ago, you'll see that Mr. Breakfast received an email from Lauren, kind of rewriting history, saying, no, it was just a press release. And it was totally normal protocol for press like myself to receive a press release. So it's no big deal. No, it wasn't just a press release. It was the book.
Right.
So stop making shit up, Lauren.
PDF of the book was attached to that email.
Yeah. Yeah, this is it. So this is Nate receiving the document from Julia Romero, your publicist, then Nate forwarding it on to Lauren, unaware she wasn't meant to have it, and then on May 8th, Lauren forwarding this on to Mr. Breakfast. But meanwhile, then on May 7th, her chucking it into a group chat.
In that video. And honestly, I have no idea what she's talking about. And this has not been the first time she's accused me of sending out manuscripts of her book. And I can clear that one up right now. That is absolutely false. Absolutely. Which I think I received, by the way, the manuscript. Her manuscript was sent before it was published in a press release that was mass distributed, a press release to all of the media. I didn't get one, but a couple people in the media did send me the press release. The press releases can be forwarded. It's completely fair. There was nothing on the press release that said do not forward. Nothing that said it was for private in-house only. And so I was sent a press release of her book, which included her book manuscript, pre-publishing in I guess it would have been during the Chad Daybell trial.
For God's sake. So much cope. Just what makes her think this is okay?
Yeah.
Can Botox fry a person's brain? This is ridiculous. Also, I know you have to jump in a minute. You have a stream, but thank you for being here, Lori.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Amazing. Yeah, it was not a press release. It was not sent to hundreds of contacts. It was sent to one. I know it was sent to a few more than that, right? But as far as she's concerned, it was sent to one.
The emails were sent out individually to somewhere around 20 press contacts, including Nate Eaton and Justin Lund.
Yeah.
But each one was sent individually. So it wasn't like a mass email sent out to the world.
Yeah. And we will be redirecting to Lori. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, wait, absolutely. We already set up.
Oh,
okay, I was about to do it.
It's already done. She said sharing of this is normal protocol. No, it's no. Oh, also, I just wanted to. Grayson was so nice to you, wasn't she? Did you see this?
Mm-mm.
Oh God, sorry.
Yeah, since she wants to talk about opinions, I think she's a horrible person to ever say that.
Yeah, that is.
She's talking about me?
That's
ever
appalling.
insinuate that someone is lying about wanting to take their own life.
That is.
If she was going through this, she might feel the same way.
Okay, so she's talking about how you were questioning how Lauren was potentially feeling thoughts of self-harm as a result of Christina's actions.
Yeah, I still don't believe it. Lauren knows all of the buzzwords all the
Mhm.
right things to say. How many times during all of those conversations did she say, I feel threatened? I feel threatened. She knows all of the right buzzwords to say.
Mm.
And she
Yeah.
knew that she was going to get a tremendous amount of sympathy from people by saying, this is impacting my mental health to the point where
Yep.
I'm questioning whether I want to be here or not.
Yep.
I'm sorry, but I have my own personal experience
Yes.
with
You
that.
do.
And I am perhaps far more intolerant of people who play that card for sympathy than most people would be. But I, I th- and I always preface what I say by saying I have my own baggage around this. And
Mm-hmm.
because of that, I am very intolerant of people who play that card for sympathy. I'm always very
100%.
transparent about that.
Did you see when she sent Mr. Breakfast a
I did.
story about a woman who'd taken her life? My
Yeah.
God. My God. That was sick.
So offensive.
That was so offensive.
Yeah.
We've already watched that. Okay, cool.
And
All right. So
anyone who's ever had that life experience, it's just too offensive to believe.
it is.
Yeah.
It really is. And like Grayson's all like throwing shade at you. Oh, she wasn't there. She didn't see it that day. She was like rocking back and forth. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay. Kind of like when she was in her bed with her pearls on and with her makeup on, and you were taking a video of it for her.
Right.
For
Wiping her
stream.
nose on the bedspread. Yeah.
Yeah, that. Yeah. Come on now.
Yeah. No, and to be honest, I know Lauren. I knew Lauren well enough that I didn't believe it.
Yeah, exactly. So, Lori, who is funding Lori Vallow's books? How would you know that?
I don't know if Lori Vallow. I had heard that Lori Vallow is writing a book. No one in the world would be publishing Lori Vallow's books. For one thing, Idaho has a Son of Sam Slayer statute. So there's no way that Lori can profit from writing a book.
Yep.
She says she's writing a book, but I don't think it will ever see the light of day. And I don't believe that anyone is funding it.
Yeah.
Certainly no publisher out there is ever going to publish it. Now, there are a great many avenues where people can self-publish books. Amazon has a whole section of their platform where people can self-publish their own books.
Sure. Yeah.
You can't profit from it. So
Mark
She can't,
Johnson can do that too.
right.
Okay, Dali. Thank you for the $2, Jessica. Carol 911. Can't you, Lori, sue her for that? Yeah.
So I looked into filing a copyright claim, but my publisher also bore some responsibility because they didn't actually file. They filed a preliminary copyright, but didn't actually file the copyright until the book hit the shelves, which meant that, like Cresha's claim, where she struck Cresha and the copyright board came back and said, no, because you didn't have a copyright on this. You didn't file it with the copyright board. Similarly, that's the problem with the book, is that the copyright wasn't effective until publishing date. So
yeah.
I'm not sure whether I'd want to do it anyway, just because it's more bullshit than I want to deal with.
Yeah. Absolutely. I just want to go back here. Can't Elle be charged with perjury for lying on a sworn affidavit?
She could, but prosecutors are not quick to jump on these kinds of cases. If prosecutors prosecuted everyone who lied in a sworn statement or who lied under oath, it would be a more than full-time job. So we don't have enough prosecutors for that. So prosecutors are very selective in the way they prosecute those. Yes, it is against the law, and yes, it is actionable by criminal charges. But the average prosecutor is not going to go through every affidavit filed with the court and say, is this true or is this not?
Yeah. The only person who gets charged with perjury is Becky Hill, basically.
Yeah. Right.
That was a shock. But
I mean,
thank you
that's
for the $9.99. Yeah.
For the kind of case you have to lie in.
Pretty much, but they wanted to charge her with something that didn't affect Alex Murdoch's chances of a retrial. Yeah. Thank you for the $9.99. Karen Erickson said, it's so great seeing you all together. This has been too fun.
It's been really fun. I've enjoyed it.
$4.99. We definitely have to have you back.
Yes.
Definitely.
I'd love to do that.
Yeah. $2.79 Canadian. Sorry, go on.
Dali, if that cat shows up missing, you'll know where he went.
That's a new one. That's senior.
Yeah.
Right? He just turned up. But he's actually the brother of Babu, who's the original.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. In my opinion, Lauren tried to take Cresh's place with Kay, like try to be her daughter, you reckon? God, she tries to pretend she's their family.
It is very creepy.
Only
super creepy.
Only to the extent that it was a benefit to her.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. Thank you for the Canadian $2.79. Much appreciated. In the Commonwealth with me.
I do want to say a lot of people were interested in talking to Kay and Larry. I was interested in talking to Kay and Larry. But I don't think that it was right to inveigle yourself into their lives to the point where they're trusting you and their kid is calling you grandma and grandpa, or Mimi and Papa. That seems wrong.
That's a bit much.
Yeah.
This is an interesting question. And by the way, death penalty law really interests me. I actually followed some of Chad's pretrial motions just because I was interested in death penalty law. So, Elle, do you think Judge looked for a reason to drop death penalty?
I actually don't. I think the judge really grappled with this. And I think that he felt like he was boxed into a corner because what the prosecution had done was so egregious. They had, for whatever reason, had not provided the discovery when they were supposed to. And there were a couple of things that happened as a consequence of that. First of all, the judge was forced to sever the two trials and to have two separate trials because Chad Daybell had already waived his speedy trial right.
Yeah.
And so the proper remedy for Chad Daybell was, sure, we'll give you another year to prepare and deal with all this discovery. But there was no similar way to help Lori Daybell or to say, you're right, the prosecution messed up, you get this as a consequence. It really was the only alternative he had, was to take the death penalty off the table.
And it's very interesting. Sorry, I'll let you finish.
Well, it was unprecedented in Idaho, so he actually had to go outside of Idaho to come up with precedent for doing it. Yeah.
The tension between the right to a fair trial and the right to speedy. So the fact that if you don't waive speedy, then you have no ability to be properly prepared for trial if you have the death penalty on the table.
Right.
This was argued in Brian Koberger's pretrial motions as well, and they used Laurie Vallow's case law as an argument. And if Brian had not pled and he had been sentenced to death, it would have been an appellate argument for him as well. So the Vallow case is it was groundbreaking in that she did get her death penalty struck because of this, because of the fact she would not waive speedy, and there was all of this work still to be done. But Chad, he did waive speedy, and he ended up on death row. You know, so it's a problem. You can't go to trial, go to a death penalty trial, and still have your speedy trial rights. It's just there's two rights. There's a tension between those two rights.
I wonder if that's why Koberger never waived speedy until the last moment, because he held on for a long time, and they were like, "We are going to trial."
Yes, I think it was because he's got his lawyers standing there saying, "Dude, we cannot be ready for trial.
Yeah.
We cannot do a year's worth of mitigation work. We just can't do it."
Yes.
You know, and I mean, the reality of, you know, the Supreme Court says death is different. The reality is that
it's different. Yeah.
That death penalty cases require just so much more work and so much more investigation. And I mean, just the mitigation phase alone can take a year. You know, the mitigation phase, they're looking at 3 generations back at your family history, your medical history, your grandparents' medical history, your grandfather's military record. It's crazy.
Wow.
But to not do it is malpractice.
Yeah.
It is, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's therefore that impedes on your right to a fair trial.
Sure,
because if your defense is not prepared for mitigation, then you are not getting a fair trial.
So I always tell this story about my experience. I was a public defender, and so I got a phone call, you know, you're being appointed on this case. In Oregon, we have a mandatory sentencing scheme. It was passed by ballot measure, so we call it ballot measure 11, and it sets down mandatory sentences for violent crimes. So I get to court, and the judge, I practiced in a fairly small community, so these are judges who know me. The judge said, "Ms. Hellis, I'm appointing you specifically to this case, and you have 9 days to get ready for trial." And I said, "Wait a minute. What do you mean I have 9 days to get ready for trial? What are you trying to set me up for? I mean, you know, I'm going to do the best I can, but holy cow, 9 days?" And it was an armed robbery. And so it was a mandatory sentencing case. And he said, "Well, your client has fired," I think I was the 3rd lawyer on the case. "And every time he gets close to trial, he fires his lawyer because he doesn't really want to go to trial, but he won't waive. And so he hasn't waived his speedy trial rights. So I'm directing you to put on the best possible case you can with 9 days." And
so you're putting in James Owens' position of Sarah Boone.
Right. You know, I mean, you get in there and you do the very best that you can. But I also had a very long conversation with this guy about all the reasons why he should have waived and all the reasons why I needed more time, and all very carefully documented in writing of all of the reasons why I could not be prepared to put on a fulsome defense in 9 days. But that is the dilemma that you find yourself in. You know, I mean, lawyers want to give their client the best defense, but those two, you're right, those two rights are in tension with one another.
That was exactly the argument that was made in one of the motions to strike the death penalty in Koberger.
Right.
And I had Steve Gosney on here. He's a death penalty certified defense attorney in Florida, and he's written several books on death penalty. And he came on and went through all those motions, and he was very impressed by that particular motion. He hadn't seen that one before, because there's a stand of motions.
Yeah. I mean, the American Bar Association. Yeah, the American Bar Association basically puts out a standard of practice for death penalty cases. These are the things that are considered best practices in death penalty cases. So yeah, but that was an unusual motion, and it was based on the precedent from the Vallow Daybell case.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. And I remember talking about what happened with Vallow, and it's very interesting. He said it won't happen at trial courts level. It won't get implemented at trial court level, but it will get implemented. So someone at appeal court level will benefit from the Vallow case law.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Anyway, sorry to keep you. We'll just finish these last few things. So interesting. I definitely have to have you back.
Love it.
Thank you to Hella, Dali, and Lori for standing up for the truth for $5. Thank you so much, Rosie. Sorry, and for the $5. Yeah, and Jessica said, sorry, I meant writing to her and money on her commissary. Oh, beforehand when you said Lori, who is writing and funding Vallow's books.
I think her family is. I think we know, because we've heard that there was at least one creator that had befriended Lori and was putting money on her books and may have been posing as somebody who was LDS. I mean, we know that. And I'm sure that there are a few people out there, and maybe some of her friends, but I suspect that the biggest contributor is Chad Daybell's daughter, Emma. She has stayed very firmly aligned with both Lori and Chad.
Okay.
And so I would expect that she's the one who is putting money on both her books. And, to be honest, it's not a lot of money. They're not allowed. Most prisons have a cap on how much money they can have in their commissary. And I mean, it's as little as I think $65 a month comes to mind. It's a really pretty nominal amount of money. And remember, the commissary charges for everything, and it's little things like you need a new toothbrush, you want a new pair of tennis shoes, any of those things. Any kind of grooming beyond toothpaste and soap in the shower is stuff you have to buy from the commissary. So that little bit of money doesn't go very far. And then things like if they have a tablet, they can rent and watch movies, but every one of those costs. So
I have one more question for you, and I'll let you jump because I know you have a stream in about 20 minutes. So John says, question for Lori, what is the next case you are looking at or planned on covering?
Well, I have a couple of cases that I'm very interested in. There is a case out of Oregon of a man who turned out to be a serial killer. He had 5 victims. And the most interesting part of that is that the women who were his victims, much like the Rex Heuermann case, they were women who were homeless or women who were I don't know at this point that any of them were sex workers, but they definitely were people who were homeless, and a lot of them were involved in drug activity. So they were kind of people that people didn't miss, except one of them, her mother missed her. And her mother, when the police said, oh, we don't have any leads, her mother was the one who went out and literally turned over rocks to find out where her daughter had been held and to find out what had happened to her daughter. And that case just fascinates me. So that's one of the ones that's kind of on my radar right now. Yeah.
Awesome.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. I'll let you go. I have Lori, I enjoyed your book. I recommend it often. That's so nice of you, 2 birds on a wire.
Thank you so much. Let me say this. If you would be so kind as to drop my email in your show notes, if you have a book and you would like a book plate for your book signed, drop me your address to my email. I don't share them anywhere, but I'm happy to send you a book plate for your book.
Lovely. Absolutely, sure. So just email me actually, I've got your email address. Yes, sure.
Right.
So I'll put your email address into my description for
Okay.
you, so that will all be there. Now, guys, we'll finish up in a few minutes. I have a few more super chats to read out, and they're not questions for Lori, so we'll let Lori go so you can get ready for your stream. But we will redirect over there in a minute.
Great.
So
Thank you so
everyone,
much.
make sure that you stay. Thank you
Hella,
so much,
Dali,
Lori.
this was a blast. I'd love
Yeah.
to
It was
get
so much
together
fun.
again. Thanks.
Definitely see you
Great
again
meeting you.
soon. Thank
Okay.
you.
Good
Yeah.
night.
Bye. All right, guys. How great was that?
Yes.
God. Yay. She's so cool. That's so nice. All right. So let's have a look. Please sub to Lori Hellis presents Chasing Justice. Absolutely. Absolutely. That was fun. And she didn't interrupt you at all.
I know. I was kind of impressed.
I know.
I mean,
I'm
I did break one pair of glasses, but it's okay.
Oh dear. Okay, so do we read out new members? We've got Megan Williams. Hello, Megan Williams. Welcome. Welcome in. And we have Chrissy Fishers. Oh, we read these ones out, but we're going to read them anyway. And Luigietta. It's a Luigietta.
Oh, it's Luigi.
It's a Luigietta. Hello, welcome. Gen X over it. Oh, oopsie, sorry. Lori, I'm in X Gem on my apology tour. Took me a few days after the 9-hour live to see the light. Thanks for gracing us with your wisdom and wit. Well, I mean, like, she's been in X Gem for years. So I don't know if you owe her an apology, but thank you for the $4.99. Gen X over it. It's a cool name. Is that a puppy?
Yeah.
Is that a puppy?
Yeah.
You're not gracing, are you? Kidding.
Ah.
That's nice of you, love. It's good to have you here. Helen Johnson Fredrickson is a new member. Hello, Helen Johnson, Frederick Erickson, Fredrickson. Good to have you. Welcome. And Dawn Schaefer gifted 5 Excited Utterance memberships. Thank you so much. Thank you. We read that one out. We have Blucky1250. Welcome in. And we have HTC Victim. I love your name. Thank you, Lori, for speaking the truth. She really did, didn't she? I think like she cleared a few things up today. Like there were some things that sort of people have kind of wondered about like, you know, her getting kicked out of the courtroom and I just feel like she kind of got suckered in like a bunch of other people as well. And I don't know. It's just so nice to see her kind of relaxed and feeling better about things. $6.99. Jem saying it's been months getting over. Stop talking about HTC. We did read that one. Thank you for the $6.99 Canadian.
Miss Michelle Matters. Thank you for becoming a new member.
Thank you. That's so nice of you. And to New Zealand also gifting a membership.
Oh,
Who got that? Thank you. Welcome to the new members. And Ms. Michelle Matters says nothing better than a community filled with facts, truth, and common sense. Well, we try. Not so sure about the common sense.
Yeah, not too much sense with me, but we try.
You know, I mean, I do bring Dali along for the ride.
Yeah.
But sometimes he's all right. Sometimes he's all right. Thank you for the plugs. Mr. Breakfast has Mark Grandazza. That's correct. Yes. Chat informed me. I knew I had seen his name. Many in AA. What?
Knit or crochet. It's soothing.
Oh.
Yes.
Right. Okay. No, I get it. It's soothing. Fair enough. Well, it's better than the bottle.
Yep.
Better than the bottle. It's over a year now for you?
No, tomorrow.
Okay. So, because when you said it was a year,
that's when I started weaning myself off because of my extremely high tolerance. I was concerned with seizures.
Right. So tomorrow is the day that like you.
Today was the last day I drank alcohol.
Wow.
Yeah. So maybe I'll
Okay,
do
more
a
claps.
celebration
more
stream.
claps.
Oh, maybe I'll do a
I think
celebration stream this weekend.
maybe you'll do a celebration stream. That would be cool. Great stream, 199. Thank you, Jesse Lorenz. Good to see you. And is there one more? This one, yes. Hello, Hella, Dali, and Lori. Somehow I got unsubbed, Hella. Oh, you know what? Yeah, Lily in London, she messaged me and she's like, I have come back to your channel like 3 times and every time I'm unsubbed. What is going on? I'm like, why are you asking me? Like, I am not the YouTube gods. I am not unsubbing you. I can't unsub people. But thanks for letting me know. 5 years from now, Dali will be pissed. Oh, dear. Yeah, well done. Well done. Yes. YouTube doesn't. Why did YouTube do that? It's the stupidest thing ever. Ask YouTube. 1,200 watching, only 724 likes. Let's get that like button going, everybody. Okay, guys. So, yes, 1,200 watching, and we need to get 1,200 people over into Lori Hellis's waiting area. We need those 1,200 people to wait patiently for her to get ready and be there in her chat when she starts, guys.
Thank you so much.
Dali sobriety. Yay. 199. Thank you, Mabel Dragon Burn. Absolutely. And hello, the Olop. Mate, new song. New song's out. Nice work. I am a fan. I'm a big fan. HTC the musical. Love it. Love your work. Maybe YouTube can explain how HTC buys all their subs. Well, there's a whole industry around it. Yeah, there's it. Just Google it. Google buy YouTube subs and you'll see there are many purveyors of such things. Many industries around such things. YouTube keeps saying I must be a sub to comment in live chat. Yeah, I found that when you go to subscriber-only chats, like it asks you to be a sub, but you're already a sub.
Yeah, it takes a second to like flip back over.
Yeah,
I think YouTube's working on that.
It needs to fix itself. I mean, this platform has only existed for what, 20 years? Yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you for hanging out. It's been awesome today. I've had an amazing time, and I need to just like have a moment to reflect and appreciate just like how awesome this has been, and maybe just appreciate John's anger, how much he sounds like a dying cat.
Poor
Is that
John.
my sound effects?
Groundswell of people who despised you.
Just people despise you.
Poor Johnny.
People despise you. Despise you. It's really scary, right? The cats. Yeah, actually, when I was looking for cat sounds, my cats were freaking out too. I'm sorry about that. How dare you make me look at that? I know, right?
It's better than McClelland's crotch.
Oh, that's true. All right, guys. So, guys, make sure that you stick with us. We're going to redirect now. We are redirecting over to Lori Hellis's stream. Make sure you stay. In fact, the link to it as well, guys. Can we get the link in chat for Lori's stream just in case if you've missed the redirect? We want everyone over there. Everybody over in Lori Hellis's chat. And make sure that you are there for her True Crime Wednesdays, I think they're called. Let's give her some love. She's given us so much of her time today. She's been such a
Yes.
good sport, and she deserves all the love now. Do you have the link?
Yeah, I put it in there.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. Shield your eyes. And yeah, make sure you say hello right when you get there. It's tonight. It's now. It's like in 8 minutes. So we're gonna
6
go
minutes
over there
and
now.
50 seconds.
All right, let's go. All right, it's time for the song, guys. Thanks for hanging out today.
Her name was Ella. She was an Aussie.
Thanks, everyone.
She was a fake lawyer from the future. She got on YouTube and made some live streams. The co-host is Dali and she dances sometimes. The words are always so loud and because she's an 803. To the attention, excited ignorance. Her cat is